getting richer data, and ensuring that it passes smoothly so that the receiver can see it. That's one big issue, and for that we see the whole migration to ISO 20022 as being really important. That's the mechanism to deliver the more data. And then
PayPal is working with merchants to bring crypto into the fold, and we think that's going to be really important as more of the cryptocurrencies become more mainstream in the years ahead.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and guys, please like and subscribe. If you do like what you're listening to, please inform your friends and family and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books, Cryptoteacher NWO book, also those who donated to the Cash App, Patreon, much love, and then also those who are shopping at the store, much love to you. Have more coming from the store. Now, guys, of course, we want to get into Bitcoin and cryptos first. Right now, Bitcoin has a little leg down. Guys, make sure we are staying focused on the fundamentals. We see the volume has completely dropped. Also, basically, we saw a pullback in XRP. We saw the stable coins go up. Now, like I stated yesterday, basically, we are going to have a push up. We have the Fed cutting a check on Tuesday. We have Europe flooding the market with liquidity. So guys, we're going to make a leg up. Now, if you look at CME, look at it closely. The contracts normally expire on the last Friday. But if you look closely, it says the contracts don't expire. The first notice is this Friday, but they don't expire until Monday, guys. So make sure you're looking at that. They switch it up on us. They do that every now and then. But make sure you stay focused on that. That's why I said dates are very, very important. So yes, the first notice date is this Friday, but they actually don't expire until Monday. So guys, like I said, we're going to pump this week, and then basically we're going to have that pullback. Now, just like I stated, make sure you are focused on the fundamentals, the stable coins, the volume, and then also XRP. But we're definitely going to move up, guys, and then we'll have that pullback, because then we know that, of course, they kept saying they've been breaking records. We know we're going to have that pullback, but it's not going to be till after that weekend or during that weekend. Now, basically, don't forget, I went over Salo and XDAI, guys. I went over Salo. Remember, Salo is working with the Federal Reserve and the central banks. Both of those are pumping, guys. So make sure that you're doing your homework. And if you do want to invest, like I said, make sure you do your homework before you invest. But definitely those ones are actually pumping. Now, guys, getting into the videos, basically we had Harry Newman at Swift speak about the ISO. Now, basically, guys, it's nothing but an actual alliance. And basically, when we get into words like alliance and partnership, global, that means that, guys, they're working together. That means that basically they have a plan. And I'm not going into Freemason, all that good stuff, but basically they have a plan. And a lot of y'all ask me, okay, when is the bull run? When is the bull run? Guys, we're in a bull run right now. Now, the fact is, the reason why Bitcoin didn't move up to the price that it should have went up to, why? Because they were funding, the Fed, the central banks are funding these projects, these altcoin projects that have no chance. And then when we look at DeFi, what happened? They brought in capital in DeFi, funding projects that have no chance, guys. They're printing the money off the print press. They can throw it anywhere they please. And just like I stated, basically, I had Dan Moorhead done a video, and he said, yeah, we were in DeFi a year earlier, and they finally brought in capital. That means the Fed finally brought bringing in capital in DeFi. So instead of putting it into the projects that are solid, that mean something, they're doing the same thing. It's the same move. That's why I state to y'all, make sure that you are holding certain cryptos, but then also you're trading. So the fact is that basically you don't have to worry about losing out on something. It's called MCI. Many changes instantly, guys. You have to be able to adapt in anything. Not just money, but anything. You have to be able to accept change and move with change. So when we had Bitcoin, if you got off Bitcoin, you go into altcoins. Altcoins, you go into DeFi. You have to be able to make those changes. Like me personally, I'm an older guy. But I'm still working on creating my own cryptocurrency. I don't tell y'all, but I'm still working on that. I'm going to develop my own crypto because I want to be able to create a crypto for a learning tool. But the fact is that we all have to adapt in any market, plain and simple. And basically, I have a video that I'm going to save at the end that talks about, the global reserve currency and a global currency. Guys, we've already had a global currency. What do you think the US dollar is? It's a global currency that took over the world. So the fact is the global currency really doesn't scare me, anything like that. It's the global government. It's the global religion. That's what scares me. A global currency does not scare me whatsoever. But the fact is that when you change people's mindsets, that's the issue. And if you know what the word government means, the etymology of it, if you have my book, you know what that means. That just means mind control. So when you're controlling people's minds, that's when I have a problem. But money, have no issue with that. But the fact is, guys, that crypto is definitely here. Getting over to the second video with CNBC, talk about PayPal introducing crypto. And PayPal, of course, has 100 millions of users. So, of course, introducing that to the people, that's adoption. So if anybody, it shouldn't be any question that we're moving over to crypto. There's no question whatsoever. It's just the fact there's a time frame. And basically going over those steps. You look at the stimulus package, just give me an example. Why are they holding off on the stimulus package? Why, guys? Because you don't want chaos. You do not want chaos. That's the reason why they're holding off on that. The reason why, because what? They know the masses, once they cut that check, the masses are going to get that money right back to them. They're not going to take that money, invest it, and doing it. They're not going to do that. They give that money to them in October. They know they're going to spend it on Thanksgiving and Christmas, plain and simple. And then you come back around March, they'll get the money right back. They know they give you that money, it's coming right back to them. That's just plain and simple. But guys, we have to make sure we're working on a time frame. And don't forget the calendar, guys. Remember, I started my stock channel on New Year's, the real New Year's, the Hebrew New Year's. And that's in September 18th through the 20th, which started the new year, the celebration of the new year, 2021. And like I stated, September of 2021, that's when, of course, the masses will start using abundance. January of the American calendar, that's when basically, of course, they'll push that button. In March, they'll start rolling out different earns. Now, if you think about in our banks, we can't get any free money. But Coinbase, CoinMarketCap, you can earn free money just by answering questions. Come on, guys. That's the universal basic income that's coming, and you can clearly see it. Facebook Libra has already stated they're going to have some type of projects that you can do in order to earn crypto, in order to earn basically free money, guys. That's all this is about. And of course, we know at the end it's about total control. But getting over into crypto news, let's have a few topics. Basically, we have Ethereum Classic partners with Chain Safe and Open Relay to prevent the attacks. Guys, we know Ethereum Classic will make a little comeback also. Now, Kava to release a cross-chain money market on blockchain. We know DeFi, guys. Everybody's into this borrowing lending platform. Basically, they're going to have a platform called Harvest. But borrowing and lending is very important. We know that's the current system that we're in right now. I lend you, you give me $1, I can lend it out 7 times. And lastly, guys, basically financial literacy will make digital currency industry sustainable. Guys, basically there's different types of education. Do they want people to understand how the system works? No. But just the simple nuances of crypto, yes. That's the reason why they are doing the Earn project. So therefore people can learn about crypto, just the basics, and then plus get free money. But guys, that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books. Cryptoteacher, NWO book. Also, if you're new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, the links are below. And then also, guys, don't forget I have the new stock channel. Do not forget to check it out. But don't forget your stocks, the chip stocks. And I went over a video yesterday about the cheaper ones. Chip stocks, Cobalt. I've been over Cobalt on the crypto stock channel. Basically, your gaming, banking. I have those videos coming on the stock channel. And then also everybody sitting at home, don't forget about those stocks. You have the C word, the biotech stocks is still pumping and dumping. And then also, while everybody's sitting at home getting free money or waiting on that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and y'all have a wonderful day.
All right, there's a rising call for the creation of an alternative to the U.S. dollar in the form of a new world currency. Bloomberg columnist Kevin Hassett refers to the dollar as the Mickey Mouse currency. He points out, and Carol, you may know this, that when you go to Disney, apparently you could trade one U.S. dollar for one Disney dollar. And Kevin says, well, that may be superfluous now because they're pretty much the same thing. Am I getting your views here wrong, Kevin?
No, that's about right. Although I am a big fan of Disney, so it's not necessarily an insult to be a Mickey Mouse currency these days.
What is the problem here with the U.S. dollar, and why do I see in your column that you appear to be agreeing with economist Joseph Stiglitz?
Well, you know, the fact is that the black helicopter people have been saying that, oh, we're going to do away with the dollar and move towards one world currency. And it's been kind of a key conspiracy theorist idea for a long time. And what I did in the last week or so is really pour myself into the literature on why we might want to have one world currency. And there's some pretty good arguments. I could see us moving towards, as a global financial system, having an alternative to the dollar be the sort of primary unit of account. And Keynes called for this long ago, right before the Bretton Woods conference. And it looks like there are a lot of people, including Joe Stiglitz, including the Chinese and the Russians, trying to move in that direction. So I think it's something that really could happen. It's something we need to pay attention to.
But something that would take a long time, right, Kevin?
No, it wouldn't really, because right now what's going on is that developing countries in particular feel like in order to prove to the world that they have the liquidity they need to be stable, that they need to hold a lot of dollars. And if they en masse all decide to hold some other thing, perhaps something issued by the International Monetary Fund, then they could move all that dollar demand to demand for another type of currency. And then once they did that, then it could be that you're going to have a bandwagon effect, and a lot of other countries, including Europe and the U.S., might eventually have to play along.
Can I just, I don't know if you've come across this, Kevin, but some large religions may have a problem with one world currency.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But, you know, there are a lot of things that are wrong about the current system and things that Stiglitz has pointed out. So, for example, since the developing world has to hold a lot of dollars in order to prove that they have liquidity, then basically what they're doing is making interest-free loans to the United States. And that's not really just to have the poorest countries on Earth, you know, pouring resources to the United States in order to hold dollars. Whereas if something like the International Monetary Fund issued a currency, then maybe those profits from producing the currency that people need to hold in reserve could go back towards the developing world.
Hey, Kevin, won't all of this clear once kind of the dust settles? And, I mean, I know everybody's worried about deficit, certainly the deficit in the United States, and that's why they're getting even more and more worried about the dollar. But let's assume, you know, the economy gets back on track and things start to improve and the deficit goes down. I mean, won't all this talk just go away?
No, I really don't think so. But I think that you're right that one reason why this talk has really lifted is that the U.S. deficit situation is so terrible that people are a little bit worried that maybe the U.S. dollar isn't going to be the best place to park your money over the next few years. But I think there's this other thing, which is the equity between the developed world and the developing world that needs to be addressed. And so the developing world is throwing capital at the developed world, and really it should go in the other direction.
Are the people, though, that are concerned also concerned because they are holding so many U.S. dollars? I mean, China brings this up, right? But it's not in China's best interest to pull investors out of U.S. dollars either.
Right. So right now, if everybody were to abandon the dollar, then that might be a problem for the value of all of China's assets that are in dollars. But I think that a kind of orderly progression towards using other reserve currencies, maybe the creation of one by the IMF, is something that, whether the U.S. likes it or not, I believe is likely to happen. And so you need to start to think about what's going to happen if the developing world coalesces around the idea that we should have this new currency. Maybe, you know, Keynes called it the Bancor. We'd have this new currency that they all use as their reserve, as their main reserve. If that starts to happen, it's going to be a fundamentally different world, and they've got a strong incentive to do that.
All right.